chain wallet? Why not? Spike jacket? Sure. Brass knuckles? Whatever.
What's going on, metalheads? Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am your host. And do not think that you have double vision, because we do actually kind of look somewhat alike. He looks like a little bit of a younger version of me, because I'm like a little bit
on camera. Okay.
And recently I had this really weird instance happen where some people were sharing a video from the London show from Pantera and Metallica. And they're like, dude, I saw you in the video. I'm like, it's not me, man. And I looked at the video and I sent it to a few people and they're like, holy shit, is that you? Actually you? And I'm like, no, it's not. But like, I had a twin. And we're trying to find the guy. But ladies and gentlemen, from the band Tower Hill, Mr. R.F. Traynor. Sir, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. You know, it's can't complain. It's a nice summer up here. We haven't been getting hit with the heat wave that you guys have had down there, so that's kind of nice.
Here.
Yeah. You were saying it's like what, like 110 or something? Like I don't know how to translate that Canadian, but it's that's pretty hot. So,
yeah. So where I am, it usually gets up to around the mid 90s in the summer.
Oh my god.
In Fahrenheit.
That's crazy.
So,
yeah.
Which it's about, I think it's 60. I think it's 30 degrees off is what the
around that. That makes a lot of sense. That would be hotter than it like pretty much ever gets where I live. Yeah. You know, I like to say I'm built like a walrus, right? Like I got like a thick layer of blubber, so I do well in a cooler climate. So that's a challenge. But
I feel that.
Yeah, you have my condolences. But it's been going good. You know, the band's been working well. We've been actually quite working hard on our second album, which actually we just wrapped up. I think as of today being July 9th, we're expected to get our final masters back, hopefully by midnight tonight, maybe by tomorrow, for the album. So we've been really kind of hard in the recording mines, digging for riffs over the last 6 months. Finally got everything done. Going to be sending it over to No Remorse Records fairly soon. So super, super excited about that. I don't want to scoop myself too much, but I'm eager to chat.
Dude, I am so excited for this because, everything that you all have done, from Fighting Spirits, the Deathstalker single, and then the actual Deathstalker album, I've been waiting, and it's been getting to see you all live at Legions in 24, where it was such a fun show. And
that was an awesome show,
dude. I will actually say this, that if I ever had like a this is my church Ishmael moment, welcome to my church, or having a religious experience at a show, it was actually standing in Reggie's watching you all on stage.
Oh, hell yeah,
man. Because it was such a blast to be like, holy shit, like all the way from out west, getting to
Alberta,
see you at a show. And
that was crazy. That was our first time in the States, right? And it was such just a whirlwind that we got on that, and it's so cool, right? Because some of the folks there we've known for a while, right? Like I connected with you online before and stuff, and I think the guys from Greyhawk obviously are good friends and everything. But it was so cool to be there and be on tour and see a new country and play that stage. And Bob and Shane just put on a fantastic festival.
Amazing.
Like, literally, we played a lot of really good shows, but that still just stands huge in my memory, right? And the fact that he's able to put together these killer lineups like year after year, like that one was so cool, right? Because it was like, I think it had like, Perennial Quest, fucking you guys with Ice Howl, Striker was on there, some buddies of ours from up here in Edmonton, right? And then Unleash the Archers. It was so funny, actually. We were staying at the hotel, right? I forget where it was, but it was near kind of the more downtown. And we're leaving the next day to go because we had a show up in oh, where was it? I thought Wisconsin.
Yeah, it was
the
up
day
in
we
either
played. Yeah.
Madison or Milwaukee. I know it was
It
for
was
Randy,
Madison. It
I
was
think.
Madison. Yeah, over at oh fuck, it was with Lords the Trident, which is really sick, really
Yeah.
cool playing with them. But it was funny because we're leaving to go and like load out, and then we see Brittany and a couple of the guys from Unleash the Archers. We're there at the same hotel, and we're like, oh, like that's so cool. Like we're fans of them. We know we don't. And so but we didn't say anything because we didn't want to like fanboy about it, right? Because we just played on the same stage, right? So,
Sure,
but it's just like,
sure.
oh, that's so cool, right? We're in the
That's
big leagues now,
awesome.
so it's very surreal moment, right? And it's so cool, playing these shows and actually having people that like have like heard the album and want to like get shit signed and are excited and know the
Yeah.
lyrics and everything, right? It's really good.
And that's one of the things about the internet that has been such a blessing, I think, is getting a source on so many bands now that, I can talk to you in Edmonton and here I am in Kentucky and just we share the stage in Chicago together, or one of these days, who knows, it might be in Houston for Hell's Heroes, or it might be
Voila.
or it might be up, you might be throwing your own fest and have something up there, and
Yeah,
bring people in one day, which would be a rad thing too.
it would be very
And
sick.
and that's where the community of like our version of the tape trade
Totally.
is where it is now. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, just I couldn't praise like like I said, like watching you all enough, because it actually had me in this moment where I texted my mom and I thanked her for buying me my first guitar.
I love that.
And so yeah, so
Yeah.
thank you for that. So
Oh yeah,
writing on
dude.
the second album, hopefully getting the master.
Yeah.
You by the time we're recording this, you're just about to go out, but I think by the time we're airing this, you're just coming back from a short run.
No, actually, so we'll be just
When
about
is
to
the
head
run?
out.
Okay.
So we're playing a short run in August with our good friends and label mates from Boston, from Massachusetts, Adamantis. They're
Yeah.
also on No Remorse Records. Bunch of great guys. It's been fantastic to kind of work with them and plan everything out for this little run here. But basically, what we're doing, we're playing a fantastic show in Vancouver on August 13th with Sacred Blade, pretty legendary Canadian heavy metal band. I don't think they played Vancouver for more than like 20 years or something like that. So that show's going to
Wow.
be nuts. It's at the Cobalt, legendary venue. We're working with one of our favorite promoters, Joey Hawken from Journeyman Productions, on that. And I think the opening band, they're called Syrinx. It's like progressive
I know who
kind of.
Syrinx is.
Yeah, and it's got
Graham.
yeah, exactly. So it's going to be
Graham
really,
from Spell, Graham McGee.
yeah,
Yeah, formerly of Spell, I should say. Um,
totally.
he was there for the first three albums for sure,
Yeah,
and
and JP from Striker, not Striker, sorry, from Traveler,
and
formerly of Traveler.
Viper Witch.
Yeah, is on there now. Also in the Scepter, fantastic Canadian band. They're putting out the new
Yeah,
album later. I think this year. Actually, it might be this month. I need to double check. But so really stoked. So great to kind of play with some old friends, some new friends. Obviously, if you haven't met the guys from Sacred Blade yet, I'm probably going to be pretty
sure.
starstruck getting the chance to. And then from there, we're heading down to do Soldiers of Steel festival.
And Amy is putting on some
Yeah,
kick-ass
Amy and
stuff
Brandon are
too.
putting that on. So I went last year just as a fan and had an awesome time. Like I love Seattle. It's a great city, great lineup. And then we kind of go from there and do a little West Coast run all the way down to the Bay Area and then kind of leapfrogging back up. So it'll be good. It's kind of like 5 or 6, actually, I think 7 shows in total. Mix of
Right
bigger
on.
venues, smaller venues. We're playing with some awesome bands. I think we've got Hands of Goro is on the Bay Area date. Really, really stoked to play with them.
That's gonna be an amazing
Telomiris
one.
in Bellingham. So it's going to be stacked. Like I'm really excited about it. And it'll be good to kind of get out of get back on the road a bit because we've been in such like a writing mode.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're really, really looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting.
So are you going to be playing new songs on the tour?
So we have we're going to be playing a couple new songs.
Ooh,
We've played these
get,
ones before
bring your
live.
recorders, people.
So they're not new, but I don't think they've been video documented yet. So
Mm.
spoiler alert, you'll hear these songs and then they'll be on the album, but I don't think anyone's snapped any videos of them yet. So they've been in our set for a little bit. If you've seen us, you probably heard these ones, but they are technically new songs that don't exist yet on the internet. So if you want a sneak preview, come out to one of these shows, the Cascadian Conquest Tour with Tower Hill and Adamantis, anytime from August 13th to the 21st on the West Coast. Find a venue near you and come check it out. It'll be some
Check
good
local
stuff.
listings.
So, yeah, check your local listings. Exactly. Public access television.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what that's what kind of like, I'm a fan of Wayne's World. I'm in my 40s.
Oh, yeah.
That whole era of like Wayne's World. When I was a kid, my parents loved American Graffiti. So like seeing that and everything, and when I was in 5th grade, our play was a take on our class play that we did was a take on like American Graffiti.
Nice.
And I got to do the DJ gig, and it's like I've been in it ever since. But yeah, doing the thing, it's like it always feels like that. It's check your local listings because we're doing a West Coast run here,
right? And it's especially so much. This is word of mouth now. I find, right?
It still is.
We post nonstop. Like even once in a while, I'll throw like $5 on some like ads on the algorithm. But I find like it's so hard to get get knowledge of your shows like out there, right? Like I was at an event. I was at a wedding on the weekend, right? Just for a good buddy of mine, and I ran into a friend I hadn't seen for quite some time there, and he was saying like, every time you guys play, I always see the ads and I see the posters after the show has already happened. And I think that's a
purposeful thing of Facebook.
Seems purposeful. So it seems like the way that this is set up is almost like biased against getting people, like, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I think like it seems like there's a push to get people not to go to like live music. And I don't understand like who benefits.
I think it's not just live music. Yeah. I think it's everything.
Yeah.
As long as if you can purchase your books and look at the screen, you can watch your movies on the screen. Yeah. You can ask questions on podcasts from the screen. I think that's what it is. And, it's like this weird, you said you didn't want to get conspiracy theorist and things like that, but it's I
twist my rubber arm.
Right. But you're absolutely right with it though. I don't want to get conspiracy theorist either, but the research is there and it's kind of how it is. You just gotta, you have to detox from it.
Yeah.
And
I think there's like almost a double. I think like there's two factors at play in that they always want something that there's a way to make a profit off of it, right? And like who profits from like a live music show? Like the bands, the venue, right? Like there's no room for meta in this conversation, right? It's like, well, like, oh no, like I consent. So how do they? I don't, right? So they're probably. I think there's a disincentive because you can't monetize like a live show other than selling the ticket. Like I don't want to get into like Live Nation and crap like that too, right? And I think with COVID and like the fact that we have all these great video technologies and the online events and stuff now, companies have like looked at that. So like, okay, how can I like use this to monetize this instead of these people going and playing in the venue in person or whatever, right? So there's always a way to make it cuts, right? And even with physical media now, we're seeing like Sony has said they're not going to sell video game discs anymore, right? So like,
honestly has considered dropping production of movie discs on the Blu-ray platform, and they own the patent of the Blu-ray platform. So what do you then go back to DVD or go back to laser?
The data. Yeah. And that's concerning for me as like, as, someone who writes and publishes music is like, I read our contract with our label and I know that I have creative rights and they have rights to the masters and I'm all fine with that. Right. But it's like, who else has access to this when it's on? I ranted about streaming last time, but I feel like it's gotten even worse with the start of AI and the fact that now like it can train itself on your music without your consent or your kind of copyright interest in that and stuff. And so it's I don't know. I try not to think about it too much, but it's a scary world.
So dating the episode here, going back a couple of weeks, there was a moment where I'm sure you saw it on Facebook where it was all of the independent bands sharing the link to see if their music had been used to train AI. And it's interesting because like certain albums from certain bands were used, but not every album from certain bands, but only certain albums were. So it makes you wonder, like,
out and only having one album is they had to use Deathstalker.
Sure. Well, but like in Icehow, they use Darkness from Beyond, which is the third album. And I think currently our new album is too new for them to have adapted.
Probably.
But the other two and the instrumental stuff that he had done before that were not used. So maybe it's one of these deals where it's when your terms and conditions change like every 6 or 8 months.
Yeah.
And that's in the gap of when a term and condition changed, and they just kind of screwed people.
I could see that. Yeah. It's wild. And I think you're going to see some interesting like responses to this, both like from like bands and like labels and like the courts and stuff. Right. Like, cause it's affecting, people's images and everything. Right. Like,
sure.
Because if you don't have a right to your own music, your own image, and like even now it's like there's a backlash growing against like using AI and like album art or in like your
in any part of it,
stuff, right? Yeah.
And because it's not paying an artist, and I understand that. I'm doing that currently. I commissioned a show poster for a show in November. And obviously to me, because if you're doing it the right way, we everybody knows we're all just t-shirt salesmen.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So if your poster is good enough that you spent the money on and not some AI fucking slop, that like you can actually use it as a shirt design too.
You're probably going to sell more t-shirts.
You're probably going to sell more shirts.
No, like legit. I guess that's one thing, right? And like in like the dawn of the slop era, right? If you're going out and actually like
that's the name of the next album.
Yeah, exactly.
The dawn of the slop era.
100. That's good. Some guy like destroying something with a hammer or whatever, like the dawn of the slop era. If you're or like a big sludge monster. I don't know. But
something with 6 fingers on its hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's always the hands.
Demon, 100%. Fuck. If you're if you're the in a sea of like AI generated shit, basically, if you're going out there and doing like a hand drawn poster, like a hand painted artwork, that kind of you'll kind of rise above the mire, right? Like that's one thing like we always want to do is have good art, and I find that sets bands apart, right? Like for the new album we went with Andreas Marschall again, who we worked with on the Deathstalker album, and who's probably my favorite heavy metal artist. I mean, he's done so many fantastic covers over the year, from like Running Wild to Blind Guardian and Hammerfall, and so and we're trying to kind of position ourselves in that same tradition, right? And I think that part of what really captures bands in that style is having that kind of like, the rich oil painted artwork, right? And that was probably the biggest single expense, not counting like, if you add up mixing, mastering, producing, all that obviously is more. But like paying for that artwork was like
the single thing,
euro or something, right? So, but it's so worth it. I mean, like we got the final artwork back, and we're like, holy fuck! Like this is just
now. Do you have the copy of it, the actual original?
No, actually. So that is kind of an interesting thing with these artist business models is that you don't actually get the original. What you get is the commissioned painting and then the rights to use it, right? So I know that he has the originals, but I think that he keeps those, and he does do exhibitions from time to time where I think you can purchase it, but it's quite a lot of money.
Sure.
So it would be something I'd be interested in at some point, but I have more spending priorities, like having to pay for our U.S. visas or buying a house or something like that, right? So,
that's the thing. You're doing this run and you're coming to the US, and you're a Canadian band coming to the US. And I know some members in Adamantis, they have to deal with the visa issue as well. So how has that been? How has that affected you when you're booking this tour and you're making sure everything goes through? And I know from my experience that there's that window, and it's like once you're there, it's like we're not booking that far, up, it's booked up already.
Exactly.
And so when you're dealing with a visa issue and you're spending the thousands of dollars because you're a 5-piece band, and you're also having to then rent gear when you come in, how has it affected everything?
So it's a huge issue in terms of what we're actually able to do logistically, I would say. It's the way that the US has set up its visa system. Essentially, in order to apply, you need to get a contract for the first show of the tour and the last show of the tour before you can apply for the visa. And then if you get the visa, you can't add additional shows. So say, for example, if we get invited if we book a tour in like March, right? And we get our first visa, our first show and our last show, we get those 2 contracts, we get everything good to go. We send it in, we pay our fees, we've got our visa. Awesome. But then if we get invited onto another tour in, say, August, we can't just use the same visa. We have to go back, reapply for a whole nother process because they're only valid for a very short window of time. And even for that short window, like a lot of the times, the way you'll have to do it basically is like go to venues that you have a good relationship with and get those contracts early before even any of the details are kind of really fully hammered out. So you can apply for the visa and then go back and book everything and get the bands and get it all going. So it's kind of, you have to like juggle both sides at once.
It almost feels like, say it's 180 days.
Yeah.
Say it's a 6-month visa. Because, right. But okay, 90 days. So feasibly, 90 days feels a little bit more like a 3-month deal. So, if you book, say you do that March tour, I mean, I would just see if I could skirt the system as much as possible, and because you can add dates in between,
add dates in between, exactly. Yes. You just can't add anything after. So we've done that before, like where we've booked. Usually, what we'll do is book the first, the last, and then we'll kind of fill it out and see what we can swing in the middle and stuff like that, right? It just said it doesn't have a lot of flexibility. And the other thing is, it takes so long, right? Like, I think our first application took about 8 months.
Oh, wow.
To get it, which is insane.
And is that for that for 24?
That was for 24 when we did Legions, right?
Yeah.
And then the year after that, they were quoting processing times at 11 months. So basically, you have to book a show almost a year in advance before venues know what their schedule is, before any other band would really be able to commit other than just theoretically about, yeah, sure, we might be down. But you have to get a contract for that, send it in almost a year in advance, and then wait for the process. Or you can pay I think it's a 3,000 USD fee to upgrade to premium, which gets your visa to the front of the line, right? And last year, unfortunately, one of our members had a passport issue where there's a huge thing that happened last year in Canada where like the passport process was delayed. So like people were waiting 6 to 8 months to get their freaking passport. So he didn't have a passport in time to apply. So we had to pay for premium to go. Like when we went down and did 2 Minutes to Tulsa and did some shows down in Texas and a West Coast tour last year. And we had to like literally we spent more money just getting the visas than we made on the tour. And that was the single most. So we were basically deep in the hole from when we started, right? Like it feels basically if you're a small band or if you're not like a large established recording artist, they don't want you to be touring in the United States, which sucks because they like, I know people do, right? But it's just the system is not the fact that it's like a one size fits all process, that we have to do the same visa process that someone else who has a lot more access to funds and backing than we would.
Then it's easier to jump to the front of the line or never has to even apply.
Yeah.
It's exactly. It's like take the major recording artists, your elder statesmen in Tony Iommi's and like those people. Totally. They're not slumming it in gate B12 in Atlanta.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, they're flying freaking private, and they're going through a gate and they're just getting a glance over. Not like the dregs of humanity like we are. And so
but it is something that I'm hearing even more for larger bands. Like I know like what's it called? Prague Power had a lot of issues last year.
Sure.
With big bands not getting their visas in time, right? So it's
I think it's getting worse. Not getting their visas in time, but getting their visas denied.
Yeah. Oh, that's
because of politicized shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what the terrible thing is. Getting their visas denied because of their gender or their ideology because it doesn't necessarily line up. So you practice law.
Yes.
So we kind of hit on this before, and I always make the joke that anytime, like the heavy metal dentist is always like Dr. Giggles or whatever, the heavy metal lawyer is always like a criminal lawyer, Saul Goodman, right? But I love it to death because so how have you been able to help the metal community with law? Have you been able to?
Well,
I mean, do people come to you for like advice?
Yeah, I have been asked for a lot of advice on navigating the visa like process, right? Because that's something that it's helpful to have someone with kind of a legal lens like work through that. Sacred Blade, who we're playing with in Vancouver, they also have applied for a visa for to play at Soldiers of Steel. And I helped kind of navigate that process for them and work through it. Unfortunately, it's still in processing, which is another issue I have with this, is how arbitrary this whole thing is, because Tower Hill applied after they did. I wanted to make sure I got theirs in first because I want them to be on the bill, right, in the festival. So I made sure I got theirs squared away and sent in. We got ours approved in I think 4 months because I think we've done it 3 or 4 times now. So I think it just moves through faster.
They put you on premium already.
I didn't even have to ask for it.
They have to pay $3,000 in person.
But they and there's at time of recording, as far as I know, theirs is still in processing. I've been checking it every couple days to get an update on it. And it's so frustrating because I feel that even if I have kind of the knowledge of how to navigate this, right? And folks have asked me stuff about if a US touring artist wants to come to Canada and they have a criminal record, what's the process to get through, right? And I know a bit of that. I'm not actively practicing right now. I'm doing a law adjacent job, but I know enough that I can give people kind of general instructions of how to navigate the system, kind of like that, right? So folks will come to me a lot with stuff like that, especially here in kind of the local scene. And I've reviewed a few folks' contracts just to make sure they're not signing anything that they don't really that's not really in their best interest, right? But it's so yeah, I mean it's good. I think it's very it's
It
a
feels very
conducive
old
job.
world.
Yeah, it does.
And what I say by that is like, okay, so this is all our passion, right?
Yeah,
And what I guess I'm saying, like, what's the harm in saying like, hey, RF, can you what can we barter in the essence
yeah,
of what would it take for me to have you look at this for me? You know, and it's like, because I know that you know, you seem like a very trustworthy guy and would steer
yeah.
somebody straight,
And
especially
honestly,
in
when
way of the
people usually
law, you
reach
know,
out about
because you don't want to
stuff like
screw
that,
nobody.
yeah, I'll usually just do it. This is not an invitation to come to me
No,
with
no, no,
with
no,
legal
no. That's
advice.
not what
Like
I'm
I
getting at.
usually
No,
will
no.
just like I'll look at stuff like that free of charge. You know, I don't really
But
bill anybody for that. Like I've got my day job. You know, and I'm happy to kind of put my lens to the service of the community in that sense.
sure, but I guess what I was getting at is like, and then like, but say like, well, I've got a cool thing I can make awesome commercials for you,
Yeah,
you know, and it's like you trade barters and services,
yeah, no,
goods and
totally.
services to each other,
Yeah,
and it's totally a community thing. And again, where we were getting on that earlier with how Facebook has driven that wedge in community. Like, look on Marketplace for stuff, but you very rarely do the actual like going to yard sales anymore. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, at least here it feels like that. And I think that like the metaverse, then and constantly being plugged in, you know, that's where we lose the community aspect of it. So, yeah,
that's true.
totally watch, you know, check these interviews out. Watch, you know, listen to the music, watch the bands live. You
Yeah.
go see the shows live, and that's really where it's about.
100%. I'm going camping this weekend, so I would say I'm looking forward to not being plugged in.
Hell yes.
Will be nice, right? But no, you know, and it's so important to go obviously see live music and support your kind of your local scene and stuff. As cliche as that is, that's really all that we've got, right? And it's nice to see more festivals and more kind of stuff springing up, you know,
Sure.
especially in kind of the area of music that I play and that we both play kind of in the traditional heavy power metal scene, right? Which I think in
Yeah.
North America has kind of gone under a bit of a renaissance the
They
last few years.
yeah,
Really
like
nice to see.
North American power metal,
It's a
and you
thing.
know, US power metal, Canadian power
Yeah,
metal, no, you know, North American power metal, I think, is where it's at right now. There's a lot of cool stuff that's, you know, coming
100%.
out, that has come out, that's, you know, and there's just so much cool things coming.
Yeah, and we're thrilled to be a part of it. Like we can't wait to get this album out. It's some really cool stuff. We've got a few songs about kind of Canadian history and Canadiana, which I think will be kind of interesting, like showing a different side of Canada to the world. Like, yeah, we do have some pretty epic like battles and warfare and drama
Yeah.
in our
I
history that a
mean,
lot of people don't know about, right? So it's kind of cool, and we're doing more of the. We've got a couple running wild kind of sounding songs on there with sort of the
hell yeah.
nautical kind of riffs and everything, right? So we're trying to do our part to diversify the oeuvre of the scene a little bit. Which is good, but
And that's amazing. I love that. So let's ask you some general questions about you as a
sure,
person.
go for it.
If you were making a care package for your enemy, what would you
For my
put in it?
enemy.
I don't know. Who would
Oh,
be? I don't know. I don't know if anybody's. I mean, there's some really detestable people out there. So I guess if there's a detestable person out there, what would you?
like are we thinking like an like a
Like
care
an enemy
package
of
and
the
something
enemy of
they'd
the state?
enjoy or something that like something that's like because I like you could just say like a freaking like one of those like Looney Tunes gloves where it just pops
Oh
out and
yeah,
slaps
like
them in the
smashes
face
them
or
in.
something like
Oh,
that
like
or or
with
a
the
pie.
pie. Yeah, the pie would be great just
Yeah,
because.
but no.
I mean, that's the thing. I wouldn't,
yeah.
even if I don't care who it
Yeah.
is, I don't wish like harm on anybody. I mean, unless you like harm
No,
people,
no.
unless
You
you
know, I
harm
think
people, you need to like
yeah.
do your time in justice and shit. But
I
like,
think for real though, like I don't know if I have any enemies. I would say, like,
yeah,
I think I have rivals or people I have like a respectful competition with, right?
okay,
You know,
so there
both in
you
like
go.
a
That's
professional
probably
and a
better.
personal.
Your respectful competition.
Yeah. So
You would send them the pie in the face,
I'd
then
say I
the
think what I do is I'd send like a pie in the face and then a bottle of whiskey under it, right? Just, kind of like, all right, let's share a tipple at some point once this is all over, right? Like,
hell yeah. What's your brand?
yeah, yeah. Oh gosh, I'd say Jameson.
Okay, so you deal the Irish whiskey there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah, the
It's
Irish. I
good.
couldn't
It's you
tell.
can sip it, you can savor it, you can shoot it. It's a solid, diverse whiskey, right? It's very good.
Nice. Hell yes, it's great in coffee as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
One thing I've been into a lot lately, actually,
Yeah.
is this is I'm not sure if you're familiar with a Caesar. It's a Canadian cocktail. So
No.
it's very similar to a Bloody Mary. So it's got it's I think the only difference really is actually it's from Alberta. It originates in Calgary, and someone cooked it up at a hotel kind of, but it's basically clamato juice.
Yeah.
So tomato and clam with either vodka, gin, and then Worcestershire hot sauce, some salt on the rim, whatever spices garnish you have lately, kind of. So one thing I've been
Yeah.
into a lot lately is instead of swapping the vodka for a little bit of whiskey, and it's
Ooh,
quite good. It's unusual, but once you kind of get into the vibe, it's kind of a smoky tomato drink. It's nice. I've been
that
getting older,
sounds
I've been
good.
enjoying the savory palate a lot more. Right, I'm not really not a sweet guy anymore.
Yeah. That actually does sound really good. I think the smokiness kind of sells it on me.
Yeah,
And
totally.
my dad was he loved Bloody Marys
Oh
and
yeah,
Clamato.
yeah.
So Budweiser has a Clamato beer.
Oh, I love that. You can get it up here. It's so good. One thing I love about being on tour in the States is you guys have those micheladas.
Yeah.
Modelo does them. They're like a big 1 liter can, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like you can get them with like mango or like lime or tomato, and they're so refreshing. I find it like last time we were on tour, every gas station we went, I was just slamming those because they replenish your electrolytes. They're so good. But I thought, like, but you can't find them up here. It's impossible. I don't know why, because it'd be so freaking popular. Like, people love that shit.
And it's
But
unfortunate that you couldn't mail them back to yourself.
no, we're not with the tariff situation. Not to get political.
Oh yeah, right. Not
Which
to
is another
get
thing. I have to
conspiracy.
ship our merch down for the tour pretty soon, and I'm dreading paying the bill on that. Like, it's going to be astronomical compared to even the last year we went. So, but all in the service of
So
rock and roll.
like you know, I've got a like I've got some thrifty business
Oh
ideas
yeah,
for bands. And it's like I want to talk about them on the show like on record, but then everybody would be doing it and it'd be just like a
exactly.
vinyl situation.
Keep it on the
And
down low, 100%.
yeah, and like I have some really good ideas. Trouble is, as George Carlin says, trouble is most of them suck.
It's like my uncle was on Dragon's Den a long time ago.
What is Dragon's Den?
It's a Canadian show. I think it's like Shark Tank. It's like
Oh wow.
there's like four investors. And you have to like pitch your idea,
Yeah.
and then they'll try to and then they'll tell you if it's good or not, right? So anyway, it's up here called, and it's usually these people just come on. They've got like a stupid idea, and then these four rich guys tell them it sucks, right? So, and they're
Yeah,
not getting
right.
invested. Once in a while, you see some cool stuff, right? So my uncle went on it, and to his credit, this is a great idea, and I'm surprised the dragons weren't all over this because it was called Walk and Mop, And the idea basically is that you would John Traynor, make sure this is copywritten before I talk about this. But it's basically, it was a pair of sandals that would have a little mop, like a towel behind them. And then when you're getting out of the hot tub, you'd step into the sandals, and then the towel would drag behind you, and you could walk and mop as you're leaving the hot tub.
Wow.
So pretty brilliant. I don't think the Dragons agreed.
I don't think they did. Yeah.
It's a great idea in theory, maybe not in practice.
Well, that's just like I was watching something the other day, and there's the guy who invented Scrub Daddy.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, the reason it's the size that it is because it's my hand. And then he basically just like he tried to market a sponge.
Yeah.
Until he decided to cut holes in it to wash his fingers because he didn't want to, he wanted to finger the damn sponge.
That's so stupid.
And it's like, this guy's sold like bazillions of them. They sell them in Staples in 3-packs. It's like, geez.
If it works, it works, right? You just gotta, it's so don't throw your ideas away. Keep them. It could be worth something.
Well, with all the microplastics, they can read your mind anyways, not to get
That's
too
true.
much of a conspiracy here.
This generation's led.
What do you keep on your desk that instantly boosts your mood?
Oh, let me show you this. This is a bust of Vladimir Lenin.
Putin or Vladimir
Lenin.
Lenin. Oh my God. So, I had a stroke.
It's really funny. It's from the Soviet Union from 1984. I've had this for a very long time. I used to work for a left-leaning politician up here, and when she was elected, someone gave that to her as a gag gift.
Oh wow!
Right? You're gonna be you guys are communists. She's like, and she says to me, Andrew, I cannot keep this. Like, this is so stupid. I'm like, well, I'll take it. I think that's really funny. So I always have Vladimir Lenin is just he's sitting on my sitting on my desk watching me work.
So I
his steely-eyed gaze.
And when I was in middle school, we had to, we had to pick like a bunch of people from a list of people to do report on.
Oh yeah.
And that was who I decided to pick.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And it's interesting because just like, wow, some of the stuff with him is just completely, like when you look at like communist versus Marxists and stuff like that, like he's more Marxist
totally
than like communist like Stalin.
Yeah. Stalin's I wouldn't say I'm a fan of any of them.
Yeah.
For that matter,
I don't think anybody
Stalin is a league beyond, I think. A little known fact about Vladimir Lenin is apparently he was also really into bodybuilding.
Yes.
He was jacked, which was
it's
wild.
Like you see the old picture of the guys like this. Yeah. That was him. Yeah.
That's absolutely.
That's totally
funny. So I feel that's something that the left wing needs to get into. Is just you gotta be jacked. You gotta lift weights.
Yeah, you gotta. Right? Yep. You gotta look like Hulk Hogan.
You gotta look the part. And then I also have a little Italian brain rot elephant that my girlfriend bought me. So those are my two creative supervisors here, Vladimir Lenin and the Italian brain rot elephant. So I think that they probably do not see eye to eye on most things.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, I wouldn't think anyways. But Lenin was Lenin was, I think he's like Godfather 3. I think he was misunderstood.
He certainly has a lot of ideas. I'll leave it at that.
For sure. We'll leave it at that.
I got one more little gag.
Oh,
this
hell yeah.
is I don't know if you guys have this in the States. This is Everclear.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, this is absolutely
it's rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, it's essentially rubbing alcohol. It is disgusting.
Oh yeah.
Whew! That is fucking vile.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
gross.
yes,
That is
yes.
really gross. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
but
just kind
would
of
you
keep that
rather
around
have
as just a little gag.
okay, so would you rather have Everclear or absinthe?
I would say Everclear. Because you can
Okay.
mix that with anything, and it hopefully will cut it. It'll neutralize it. Ideally, we'll see.
Neutralize the
But
burn.
when I was a wee lad and I was just going to house parties and stuff in my teenage years, I had the horrible, horrible, horrible idea to mix a ton of absinthe with fucking Arizona iced tea. And yeah, exactly. I vomited horrifically. It was a horrible, horrible night. So after that, anything that's kind of like a black licoricey flavor, I'm not a fan of. Like a
Yeah.
very long-standing taste aversion, unfortunately.
Yep. I get it. Arizona iced tea. That's got a weird taste to begin with, anyways, because the baseline of their tea has lemon in it,
Yeah.
and I'm not a fan of it. Like
No.
it's too watery for me.
Mhm.
But I will say that like their fruit punch and their juices primo.
Yeah.
Now
I'd say I'm a big fan.
they go great with Everclear.
So okay, yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Well, I'm
Yeah.
not in the habit of drinking Everclear. I just bought that oh god, that can you imagine? That would be so fucked. I would not be able to sing.
No, that's some rough
that'll,
shit.
that'll leave you
I know
raw.
people
Yeah.
that have blacked out quickly on that.
Oh my gosh.
Like two to three shots of it and they're done.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do a number on your old liver for sure. But I think it's a funny little party trick to just have a little sip and be like, oh, very nice.
If you could have dinner with anybody who is opposing views to your life, who would it be?
Oh, let me think. I would love to have dinner with Javier Milei, the president of Argentina. He's
Okay.
like a super turbo libertarian, which I am not, but I think he'd be a very fun person to have dinner with because he's completely insane. Apparently he like talks to his dogs to get like political advice on like the economy and stuff like that. And he has like he's just completely loopy. And there was this thing where he like brought a chainsaw on stage at this like political event where he's like cutting through these regulations and stuff. And he looks like this weird Elvis haircut. I feel that he'd just be a very fun person to have like dinner with. It would probably get a pretty heated debate, I'd imagine, because I don't think we'd really agree on pretty much anything. But I just think he'd be like a very wacky and interesting person to
Sure.
talk to. And I think I feel like we'd be able to egg each other on very well.
Absolutely. That sounds like that would be an amazing, amazing deal. And
wouldn't bring a chainsaw though. Hopefully he doesn't.
oh, hopefully not. And that's so wild because I had a friend, or I still do. I don't say I had a friend because
Yeah.
we just we're not in each other's orbit currently anymore.
Fair.
And we had very much opposing views. But he said to me one time, he's like, I usually don't talk politics with a lot of people because a lot of people don't talk politics. They like to scream politics.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he's like, you're different because you actually present a side that I don't look at. And I said, and you do for me as well. Because he did.
Totally.
And I think that's where, when I'm talking about that community building that we were talking about earlier.
Dude, 100%. Totally agree with you, right? Like I feel that like it's very easy to get into your echo chamber, whether it's like politically or like socially or with what kind of like music or content or whatever you're consuming. And I think that a rare kind of skill is being able to almost like curate people in your life who you value their opinion or their input or whatever, but you don't necessarily agree with them, right? I would consider myself definitely like left leaning, but like I have friends who I would consider are like politically right wing, who I, like respect and enjoy hearing their perspective on. And there's several areas that we kind of like either would share a similar thesis on or kind of reach the same point through like different directions, right? Like I think it's important to not build up kind of those walls around yourself, because that's how like people kind of retreat, and then the only conversations that you have are screaming rather than actually kind of like like discussing stuff, right? Like, sure. And I think that there's obviously like you got to draw a line with some stuff, and there's some conduct and like things that you can't kind of like condone or accept, especially when we want to have like a safe scene and like safe shows and safe places for people. But I think it's a lot more valuable to kind of bring people in than it is to just necessarily like build up the walls, right? Like, it's but I fully agree with you there. I think it's important that we kind of maintain dialogues with people.
Sure. And that's, what you really should have to do with people, because we all know what we want at the end of the day. We all want to have awesome shows with awesome people. Whether or not we agree on things, there are certain things that I think we all should agree on, especially like human rights. I think there's a lot of human rights issues that I don't think, there's
that shouldn't be up for debate.
That shouldn't be thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for.
Totally.
And that's unfortunate that those people exist that think that.
Yeah.
But like, you still have to maintain that level head and dialogue.
Totally.
As you said.
100%.
So if anybody if you would welcome anybody to your table, who would it be?
Like anybody?
Anybody. If you were to, you sat down with somebody you had opposing views with, you broke bread, you had the time. Now you get to reap the reward of anybody that you could think of. Who would you ever want to?
Oh man, who I'd love to have a conversation with would be Phil the Knot from Thin Lizzy.
Oh yes,
yeah, like just his life is so
right
interesting.
Here on
like,
my wall.
Fuck yeah, dude, that's so sick. Like that would be, I think, like just a very like riveting conversation. I feel he'd be a very nice guy, and it'd be cool to like hear about those experiences that he's had and stuff, and like the way that he writes songs and like all that. Like I feel it would be like a hell of a party too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I would love to just sit there and to just talk to him about, what it was like growing up in Ireland when he did.
Yeah. Totally. As like a black guy in Ireland, right? And like at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. And like playing music and shit. Like I wonder what that would have.
And just even from a Thin Lizzy standpoint, going from like playing guitar to playing bass to just do, all he needed, whatever he needed to be for the band, he was the band.
Just keeping it going, and I admire that, right? Like I would always do that for Tower Hill if push came to the shove, like I'm
sure,
I'll take up whatever instrument you ask me to do. I'll fucking learn it, right? Because I just want to keep this going, right? So I think it'd be cool to kind of like, to hear about that, how you kind of kept that going through thick or thin, right? And even when the band when it stopped, you just kept still, writing and making new music right up until the end, right? And brilliant, like poetic writing and stuff, right? Like as like a lyricist, I think he's like among the best, right? So it's
sure.
like very good storytelling. That's another thing. Like I think that every song you're writing should tell some sort of a story, and just one of the ultimate storytellers in that kind of scene.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and even look at it like I've been on this COC kick lately.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
And clean my wounds. It's totally jailbreak.
Yeah.
It's the exact same.
If you go far enough back, how much like all this shit is jailbreak.
Yeah, everything is. And you know, that was probably one of the best moments of my life was I bought that album in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
And was driving my almost going to be mother-in-law's car back to Houston with my fiance at the time, and just listening to the album Jailbreak in its entirety. Yeah. Such a great album. And then getting other stuff like I love the Fighting album.
Fighting is fantastic. Fucking awesome album. Yeah, one of my favorites, I think that's underrated, would be fucking the one with Johnny the Fox on it. Fuck, is that just called Johnny the Fox? Blanking on it. Fuck.
Maybe I'm not sure.
Art right now.
I'm terrible with the Thin Lizzy discography. I need to know more. I should know more about it. But I'm also it
is. It's Johnny the Fox.
Yeah,
it's a fucking
I fly by the seat of my pants.
Underrated album.
That's
fucking fantastic. Like, Don't Believe a Word, Fool's Gold, like fucking really good shit, right? Like, just all like one of the best bands ever. Absolutely. And then fucking Renegade, insanely underrated. Like, there's like the fucking like the harmonies on that, and even some like the funnier songs on that, like Mexican Blood or whatever, right? Like, that's kind of like, it's a silly song, but it's like it fucking hits hard. Like, fantastic songwriters. Then on like fucking like the last one he did, just like a borderline like thrash metal at times, right?
Sure.
Like, yeah.
And that's the thing that nobody really gets anymore in music, that like bands like that are in our scene, you know, that are like in our scene adjacent, whether you're black and roll, power thrash, power metal, you know, new wave of traditional heavy metal, it doesn't matter. You know, you're not hearing the same quality of music from the bands that are on those major labels.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not playing, you know, you don't get those banger album track songs anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, some bands you still get those from, but they're entrenched in the scene for so long. Exodus, for example, you get those songs from Exodus. You might get those songs from Metallica because they're Metallica, but any you know, like whatever new rock, new metal bands that are out there today, most of them don't have those album tracks that are beloved album tracks. Like,
what do you mean? Like the ones that are like kind of like not like, maybe not like a single, but like just kind of like a good like B-side, like.
Yeah, just like a B-side track, you know, that to use if the kids still use the word slaps today, you know, that like, say like, for example, Struggle Within. Yeah. The last track on the Black album. It's such a good track that like most people don't know it.
Or don't even get to that. Yeah.
Or don't even get to that song.
Yeah.
But like
I think
with bands like us and stuff like that, we still have that. And like Thin Lizzy still has.
Yeah. Oh, they do, right? Like, that's kind of one thing I've always been trying to do with like the creative process for this and writing this and stuff, is like looking at these like older albums, like, you know, the 70s and 80s, but okay, like really there's only like 8 to 9, maybe 10 ideas on this, right? And because of that, they each have time to breathe. You know, there's no filler. It's structured. And you want to kind of look at like, how do you structure something to listen through as like an experience, right?
Sure.
I'm a big album listener. Like I find like usually I won't like if there's a single coming out, I'll be like, oh, cool, that band has an album coming out later this year. So I'll make a mental note, like maybe I'll listen to the single. I don't know, but like it'll be like a mental note to come back and then listen to that album, right? So,
Yeah.
and I think that when you're kind of crafting those album tracks, you want to look at like, okay, what's like the rising falling action of the album, like.
And and that's the other thing, keeping on the pulse. And say they do release a single or two songs early on,
Yeah.
and then it's like 6 or 8 months because
Yeah.
it's the album backlog of like the release structure for the app for the label or whatever. And then it's almost like, oh my gosh, is this ever going to
People
happen?
forgot.
And yeah,
Yeah.
and it's so crazy to me because like we're used to this, but we're not used to it with our bands. Or the bands that we're interested in our
Totally.
scenes.
Yeah.
Like Tool, for example, 7 years between an album or whatever.
Yeah.
Metallica, 8 years between
Crazy.
an album. But then you've got like Testament who releases one every like 2 years.
Yeah. No, I think we're trying to like our goal is to kind of hit that like 2 to 4 year kind of window,
Sure.
right? Like because I feel if you wait too long, you almost lose relevancy. And like people are like, oh, like who's that again, right? But I feel if you kind of like if you go too fast, then it's like just like playing a show, like
Yeah.
you don't want to overplay the same city or the same cities or do the same tour again and again and again, but you also want to like you want to show up enough that you're still relevant, then people know you're there, right? So I think that we timed it well with this album. Like we're about 3 years from when the last one came out, right? And I think like when we get into No Remorse, usually it takes about like I think like 4 to 6 months for them to kind of do the turnaround and get it ready to go. So we'll be looking at
in the market.
Right in the market, right? And then the other thing that's crazy with us is we're playing Europe for the first time next year, which is insane. Yeah, we're on a power metal festival in Denmark called Epic Fest, which I am beyond stoked about. We're going to be performing with Owlbear, actually, who are also alumni of 2024 Legions of Metal. I think they were back last year too, I want to say.
They were, yeah.
So that's
some stuff had happened, and the Owlbear swooped in and took the spot.
Amazing. I love that.
Filled in.
So I believe good.
They filled in for Cliff.
Really pumped to see Jeff and Katie and that whole crew again. And it'll be really cool to be there in Europe with some friends from here in North America, right? So that's
absolutely
something I'm really looking forward to. It's just that the worst time for all of us work-wise, but we booked it off a year in advance, right? So we're going to be there with flying colors. I'm trying to book maybe 1 or 2 other shows around it just to justify the flights out there. But the hope is, we can drop the album, kind of ride that wave right into Denmark. And then we're playing with Hammerfall, which I have to pinch myself every time I think about it. Cause that's just not only you're playing with Hammerfall, playing with Hammerfall in Scandinavia, which is just fucking nuts, right? Like, excuse my language. That's just absolutely insane. Like
that's bucket list stuff, man.
Yeah, it is. And not to brag, but like we didn't ask to play it. They just like cold approached, which was just I was just shocked. Like I was like,
what it's about.
So I mean, it's good.
Dude, that's crazy awesome stuff. And
thanks,
when people sit there and say like, oh, making it, blah, 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 and use those terms, it's like, well, it's like, what is your definition of making it? For me, that would be it.
Oh, me too, 100%.
Playing with Anvil was making it for me,
Like I can just be like,
or Anthrax or somebody,
it's
like I'm getting to play shows.
The thing that's dangerous about this shared enterprise, that we have, is I find the thing about making it is it's addictive. Once you made it, right? Like you want to do it again. You want to keep making it. You want to make it even higher, right? So I'm like, and even the fact that we did Chicago, we're like, okay, like let's come back to America. Let's do it again, and we've done that, and now we want to go even harder, and now we want to do Europe, and it just
needs to be a new Tower Hill tour coming to America.
Yeah, isn't that a movie with Eddie
It is
Murphy?
with Eddie
It's
Murphy.
really poor taste. It's like Borat kind of. He's like
Of the
African
80s.
king
Well,
or
it's
something. I
okay.
haven't
So it's
seen
in
that
poor
for
taste
years.
today
Yeah,
because times have changed.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, probably fine back when it came out. That's like fucking Tropic Thunder or whatever.
Yes.
Well, I think that was poor
Well,
taste to start with, but like
I
it's
don't
very
think that
meta, so it's
was,
actually not poor taste because it's making commentary on, there's
yeah, when
layers.
Ted Danson did it in like 1998,
Yeah.
it was in poor taste, especially because he was in a relationship with Whoopi Goldberg at the time.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Um, what's one thing that you're gonna do when you keep telling yourself you're gonna do it one day? What is it?
Well, one of those was fucking going to Europe, right? For the
Okay.
for the band. So that's I think one of the biggest things, right? It's like, one day we'll get there, we'll play on those stages, we'll play music in another continent, right? And that's always been kind of a like legit like a great dream and like a long-term kind of like fantasy for so long, right? And then now that it's like a matter of months away, it's just surreal for us, right? So
Sure.
I think that's probably the biggest thing that comes to mind for me, right? I guess the only thing after that would just be like we want to do like a headlining tour in like the US sometime. I think that'd be really cool where it's like us with a couple other bands. We do like a big, right? I want to do a full America run one day, right? But
Wow.
that's
That's
a
a
big ask.
long one.
So
That's a good
you got to
one.
make it even harder to get to that.
Yeah, you got to keep making it even
Yeah,
more and more to get to
exactly.
that.
So
And then hopefully that the market sustains for it.
yeah, no, and things
And
are
you're not playing
a bit less
playing
crazy.
those garbage Live Nation venues
Yeah,
to
that's
marketplace tickets and um dude, before we go, I
yeah.
want to say thank you that I appreciate this as always. This
Oh,
is so much
absolutely. It's
fun,
nice to see
just
you again.
yeah, absolutely. And hopefully, we can get something maybe since you're playing in Denmark with Owlbear next year. Maybe Oliver's listening to this out there and we're going to put this in the ether and have the I don't know, maybe the Legions of Metal 2024 meets Keep It True.
I would love it. That'd be wonderful.
Tower
That would be a
Hill,
dream come true, actually.
Owlbear,
Keep it true.
Ice Howl, Perennial
Fuck yeah.
Quest, Mourn the Light.
Be a beautiful bill.
It would be. You could even bring Hyrax over because they played that
Hell
show.
yeah.
Hell yeah. But no, seriously, as always, links, they're listed below. Give likes, shares, follows, do all the things, all the stuff. Go to the tour, go see the shows, go buy the merch when they're out there. Because as we said earlier, we're pretty much just t-shirt salesmen, but we play live music.
Traveling
But
t-shirt salesman.
traveling t-shirt salesman, that's absolutely true. But no, because it's fun and it
It
gives
is
a
fucking fun.
positive, an outlet for people. And thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for being a kick-ass musician, and thank you for doing, just what it is that you do, just being you.
Thanks, brother. I'm
Dude,
gonna keep on trucking.
hell yeah.
I love it.
And in space trucking like Deep Purple. Now, do you have anything else you'd like to promote or any shout outs you'd like to give today?
Yeah, no, I just want to shout out, obviously our record label for all the support they've given us. Really excited to be dropping our next album here. Really also want to shout out our producer and kind of engineer that we've worked with on this album. His name's Matt Roach. He's at Rain City Studios in Vancouver. Fucking fantastic guy, great vision. Really helped us kind of to nail the sound that we wanted on this. And of course, shout out to Soldiers of Steel Festival. Brandon and Amy, really fucking excited to be on that bill and to be in Seattle pretty soon and banging my head. So, yeah, thanks for having me, Mark. Really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to hearing the podcast once it's out.
Hell yeah,
We
absolutely.
will have our new album out sometime. It is done. It is just in the logistical process of getting ready for release, but it's in the works. It's not vaporware. It does exist. It's fully recorded. It's pretty good.
Hell yeah. It's there. And
It is
and
there. I'm
hopefully
going to go
there's
listen to it after this.
and hopefully there are backups of backups in case the
Oh
grid
yeah,
falters.
absolutely. No,
And
we made that mistake before, and we will not do it
yes,
again.
that's a terrible thing to have
Oh
happen.
God.
You know, especially in the digital age. Like
Can you
I've got
imagine?
a terabyte hard drive over here that has my entire catalog on it that just quit working.
Fuck yeah, man. I one time I wrote this fucking full power metal, like melodic speed metal cover of fucking Hotel California by the Eagles
Wow.
on like Guitar Pro, and I accidentally saved over it. I
Holy
was
shit.
so pissed. I was so pissed. So just
And
imagine
it's
that. I'll leave with that thought. It was cool, but it exists as a pleasant memory for me now.
and the bad thing about that is like it's never to a point where there's a backup file of it.
No, exactly.
Like the last restore date was
Yeah.
like a month before you started it.
Oh my god. Okay, I have one more comment on that. Then I'm gonna have to hit the road here. But when we were fucking recording this album, 4 days before I was about to go record the vocals in Vancouver, my flights booked, everything. My laptop just fucking totally irreparably crashes. Like the hard drive or whatever just gone, right?
Oh
So
shit.
thank God I was backing up all of the Reaper sessions, all of the raw tracks. Everything was like cloud backed up, right? And then I had to go buy a new laptop. Actually, I ordered one online. It didn't come in time, so I had to go and buy just like a shit laptop from like Best Buy or whatever. So I have two laptops. If anyone needs a laptop, hit me up. But and then I flew out because I needed it with me to have the lyrics and have the tracks and have access for like the recording sessions and stuff. And then when I get to Vancouver, I'm in the hotel room and my fucking phone shits out the exact
Oh
same way.
no.
Unbelievable. And thank God, I remember I was like packing my bags to go. I'm like, oh, should I bring my work phone? Do I need my work phone? No, I should unplug, right? And then like a little voice in my head said, like, you should bring your work phone. Fucking sure enough, my
And you
phone shits
needed
out.
it.
I had my work phone, which also had all my flights backed up on it, and my girlfriend's phone number, so I didn't just disappear in Vancouver for a week. Right?
No
So
shit.
it was
Wow.
incredibly fortuitous, like unlucky, but also very lucky at the same time. So yeah, always back
So
up your shit.
dude, that was actually gonna be so like you said you got this one thing to say on it, and my final question of the day was like if you could give anybody younger than you some advice, I think you just did. Back
Yeah,
up your
no,
shit.
back up your shit 100%.
Hell
Like
yeah.
absolutely do that. Like the worst feeling ever is when you like record a perfect guitar solo and then
And you
it's
just
just
sink.
it's gone, right? Another thing too is like file management. Like know where you save shit. Like make specific folders for each song and save the files for that song in that folder, right? Like we've learned these mistakes by doing them. So
Oh my, I am
learn from our
so
errors.
meticulous. So like
Absolutely.
my
Yeah.
cataloging, I am so my digital footprint, like if I could like I'm sorry to say, but like I have so much band stuff saved on my Google Drive that like if it shits out and Google like goes tits up tomorrow, I'm fucked.
You're backed up. No, dude,
I gotta
totally. Like
back it up
give in to the
on a hard
archival
drive.
instinct. Like back everything up. You can never be too organized.
Exactly.
Awesome.
RF, thank you so very much. I
Thank you, Mark.
appreciate
Appreciate
you.
it.
On our way out today from Tower Hill, what do you want to play? What's that sleeper track that
Ooh.
nobody gets?
I think you should play All the Little Devils Are So Proud of Hell. It's a good song.
Yeah.
On our you meant one of our tracks, right?
Yes, I meant one of your.
Okay, yeah. I was just like, that'd be awkward if you wanted like a different band. I'm like, oh, play some Tower Hill. Yeah, but play that one. That's underrated. I think that's a good song.
All right. You heard him. Here it is. Metal Every Day. Thank you so very much. Rock out. I
forgot where my camera was there.
Do you mean you don't think the Yabba is the greatest little place on earth?
Could be worse.
How?
Supply of beer could run out.
So far away, she's heaven bound on wings of steel back to the Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com, and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing, or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases, or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza Donisi. Pizza Donisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month, the sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken, fuck that shit. Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Alright, metalheads, time to listen. That's right. Definite Metal Stomp, Awesome Brews, Pizza Next Door, check. Metal Shows, double check. That's right, Mag Bar at 1398 South 2nd Street in Louisville, Kentucky. Friends of the Metal Forge for years. Get in there, get some drinks, get some pizza, see some bands, metal every day.
In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shade Beast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shade Beast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shade Beast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon my pyre. Metal Forge, this is the Metal Forge.